Good afternoon, sir. Now, we will discuss and present the history of English language in Taiwan.
Taiwan, officially the Republic of China, is a country in East Asia. It is located at the junction of the East and South China Seas, in the northwestern Pacific Ocean, with the People's Republic of China to the northwest, Japan to the northeast, and the Philippines to the south. The history of English in Taiwan can be discussed in a three historical contexts: the pre-Japanese era, the Japanese era, and the post-World War II period. One of the biggest changes in English education since the lifting of martial law has been introduction of English as a subject in elementary schools. This process took place first at regional government level, and it much later that the central government started regulating the teachings of English elementary schools. Taiwan was never colonized by an Anglophone power, and for that other reason is it is best regarded as an expanding circle society according to the Cachobrarian three-circle model. The World English Scholarship has always been concerned with different types of English varieties. Expanding circle, non-post-colonial Englishes have had late start in being added in research remit. As a result, much important in the work in this area remains to be done. Expanding circle Englishes in general and Asian expanding circle Englishes in particular are still neglected. In many handbooks of world Englishes, the Cambridge Handbook of World Englishes, notable exemptions here are examples. The Routledge Handbook are for examples. The Routledge Handbook of World Englishes, chapter on Japanese, Chinese, and Slavic Englishes, and the Handbook of Asian Englishes. While traditionally, much focus has been laid on matters of language policies, education, and attitudes. Corpus linguistic approach to expanding circle Englishes have become more and more relevant. In this, we present the first result from a corpus-based study of Taiwanese English, drawing on the pilot version of a spoken Taiwanese English corpus. English as a foreign language, or EFL, context in Taiwan based on Vygotsky's in 1978. Sociocultural framework. The historical context is provided after some delineations of the educational system in Taiwan with regards to its foreign languages, instructions, policy, and development. Based upon the proposed sociocultural framework, this study explores whether culture is an important variable and what measures have been taken by both learners and practitioners to resolve the problems of EFL teaching and learning in Taiwan. The findings demonstrate that Chinese culture is indeed one of the most paramount determiners pertaining to foreign language teaching and learning in a classroom settings, in that exerts substantial impact on both the teachers and learners in various aspects in Taiwan. Several difficulties of teaching and learning EFL are also highlighted, along with the ways in which learners and practitioners have aimed to alleviate them collectively. These articles offer essential issues to teachers not only as a means to enhance the knowledge of their students but also an avenue to guide research for future. academic endeavors, it is anticipated that more insight into learners' language development and teachers' implementation can thus be gained. Almost 87% of Taiwanese support English as their second official language, according to the survey published around the time of the English policy implementation. A particular preference of the public goes to native English speakers because of their natural accent and fluency in teaching an English language.
Number 3. What is the current rank in the International Proficiency Index in Taiwan? According to the report, Taiwan has a low proficiency at 51.88 points out of 100. 16-point drop formed in its 52.04 score last year, while its ranking dropped 8 notches from 14 to 48. Number 4. How is English language education implemented in Taiwan? Taiwan made the decision to incorporate local language instruction into its program as a result, allowing it to preserve its sense of national identity. The English language learning and the local language policy, which were created with these two goals in mind, are two components of the language policy. Contradiction between the two policies result have been seen in spite of this. Implementation challenges have been blamed for this due to the availability of resources and sound planning. Studies have shown that the English language policy's implementation was relatively better. 5. What are the programs for the improvement of English proficiency? 1. Find the right activity for you. 2. Improve your English writing skills. Improve your English reading skills. Try a practice test and watch movies in English. Start a vocabulary book of useful words and have conversation in English language. Number 6. What are the language policies affecting English language use? Taiwan has undertaken a few measures to promote English over the past 20 years. In the last 20 years, Taiwan's approach to English education has undergone two significant changes. These changes took place when Taiwan underwent political and economic upheaval. The first significant policy change was the 9-year joint curriculum policy, which went into effect in 2001. Taiwan inclusion in this policy led to some of the steps being aware of how society has shifting more toward sharing knowledge. Because of this development, more attention needed to be spent on educating pupils about global issues. Number 7. How is the attitude of people towards in Taiwan? Like many other countries in Asia, Taiwan introduced considerable changes in English education policy in response to the need for English communication in the global market. During the process of implementing the new English education policy, the Ministry of Education of Taiwan encountered several problems. Although researchers have examined other issues concerning the implementation of the English education policy, such as the shortage of trained English teaching personnel, the selection of textbook, and the difficulty of teaching a class of heterogeneous learners, parental attitudes towards or expectation for the English education policy itself remain unexplored.
Like all forms of English dialects, Taiwanese English varies from Standard English in its use of phonemes, morphemes, and syntax. It is important to note that these differences of pronunciation and word order are not errors made by the EFL speakers. Often, native English speakers assume that people who speak EFL do not know how to utilize proper English. The reality of situation is that EFL speakers have learned an English dialect that is usually useful and variable, although slightly different as standard English is creating meaning through English. The following description of common pronunciation varies in Taiwan English have been observed from accompanying videos as well as in James H. Young's 2012 research article titled A Socio-Phonological Analysis of Taiwan English from the Perspective of World Englishes, which focuses on sound features in Taiwanese English. Liu Kaxiang. The love for book is the same as that for a friends. You might not need a lot of books, but why do you keep flipping through pages and purchasing new ones? That is because you are fearful of missing a friend in that world that is worth knowing in your life. This famous quote was written by Liu Kaxiang, a nature lover and a writer who specialized in natural ecology for over 10 years. Liu engaged in a natural observation, historical travel, and mining on isolated paths due to his passion for animals and nature. Liu is dubbed the Birdman. Liu has published more than 20 writings including prose, fiction, poems, illustrated books, and photographic works. Is the Spirit in the Telescope Stories of Common Birds in Taiwan was bestowed the Best Children Book in 1997 by United States News. This award-winning book depicts the life and special behavior of 17 varieties of birds that are commonly found in Taiwan and illustrate a cubist vision of the bird's world. Learning English is a critical step toward achieving all of these objectives. Learning English is a valuable skill no matter what career path you choose. It will help you become a better, more desirable employee as well as more well-rounded individual. Learning English allows you to connect with people all over the world and learn how they think. If you become proficient enough in English how to use it, you will expand your network around the world exponentially. This will assist you with the employment advancement and awareness as well as making you a citizen of larger world.